Hi, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your August 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. So this reading is for my Scorpio water signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you, although sometimes these messages can get very specific. But what I do find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Scorpio signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It really helps the channel out. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And then of course you get notified when the next videos are up. So Scorpio, let's jump in. Okay. What I'm being shown is that for many of you, there may be some kind of invitation or calling to step more fully into your purpose or your life path. And it may be a moment to take a little bit of a pause right now and reflect, reevaluate is what I'm seeing, on perhaps the energies or the connections that you have around you. And really looking at, what do you take moving forwards? What do you need to let go of? Because I feel like there needs to be some kind of like fine-tuning of your life. So a little bit like when you clear out your closet, but instead of it being, like that, it's more these, energies and connections. Because moving forward, Scorpio, I feel like it's really important for you to have, the right people around you, people that support you, lift you up and inspire you. And I feel like it's really important for you to have that moving into, this new phase in your life. So with your overall energies, we have the Devil. And this is usually a call to take accountability and really have a look at perhaps the shadow aspects of ourselves and really look at what holds us in the past, looking at those old, unhealthy, toxic connections, behaviors, patterns. And sometimes, this card can represent feeling, stuck in some way. But if you look at the picture, the chains around the neck on the figures there, they can be taken off at any moment. So, it is to remember that, whatever the situation, you do have the power to take those chains off and to make a change and break free, from old, limiting patterns here. And what lies in your recent past, Judgment. So yeah, there's a real moment of, let's say, a life review going on here. And, a big call to accountability, Scorpio, to take responsibility for, what you create in your life, your experiences, and really looking at, your part to play, looking at those patterns, those unhealthy patterns and behaviors that may have, played a part in, what you have manifested and created, the connections that you've perhaps drawn to you. And Judgment, it's all about, like I was saying at the beginning there, just taking a moment to pause and really look at, as I said, what needs to be let go of, what do you take moving forwards. And really it's about learning from the past so that moving forwards you don't, make the same mistakes again. You don't go down, the same roads of, whatever this Devil card represents here, Scorpio. And your current situation, we have the Ace of Cups. So some kind of new beginning here for you, Scorpio. So this could be a new offer of love. You know, this is water energy, so it relates to love and relationships. But it's also creative energy, so it can represent, for some of you, some kind of new creative opportunity. So of course that can be career also, but some kind of new beginning here for you, Scorpio. Now your feelings towards your situation, we have the Three of Swords, which is a card of very often heartbreak, loss, emotional discomfort, pain. Sometimes it can indicate, you know, a separation from someone. And for me, this Three of Swords, I feel, represents something or somebody that maybe needs to be let go of in order for you to really embrace, you know, whatever this new opportunity is. So remember what I was saying at the beginning, you know, there's always a shared theme, and, you know, this can manifest itself in, you know, different areas of your life. So it can be, you know, family, career, it can be love. And, you know, it may show up in slightly different ways, but the theme always remains the same. And with that Three of Swords there, it can also represent, you know, something that perhaps needs to be let go of inside of yourself, which could be perhaps an old way of being, you know, with this Devil card here as your overall energies, an old, you know, toxic behavior pattern. What lies in your area of the challenge? We have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is, you know, very goal orientated. It's very much related to, you know, career, finances, and, you know, really creating that abundant life for ourselves. And with your hidden influence, we have the Lovers. And the Lovers usually shows up when there's some kind of choice to be made here, Scorpio. And sometimes that's a choice in love and relationships. And it really does represent, you know, whether that is a choice in perhaps some kind of new creative opportunity or it's a choice in love. It's really about listening to your heart and doing what truly feels right for you, and making sure that you are making a decision that really does align with what your heart truly wants. So it may be a moment to just sit and pause and really listen, you know, to what your heart's really saying in this situation. So there's some kind of, moment of a pause, a life review, a new possibility, a new offer of love or creative opportunity, but there's some kind of pain or sadness or sense of loss around perhaps moving in, you know, and embracing this new opportunity here. And with your advice from the universe, we have the Hierophant. This is a card of faith. And it represents, traditionally it's about faith, it's about commitment, it's about, you know, trusting in tradition and those kind of well-trodden paths. And in love and relationships, this is about commitment and building a connection that really is built on, you know, shared values and mutual trust, and the importance of having those strong foundations, you know, moving forwards. And so it really is, I feel, about looking at, you know, who or what does it feel like that's possible to do all of that with, and what perhaps needs to be cut and ties with or let go of here, Scorpio. And with your potential outcome here, we have the Page of Swords. This card often comes in, you know, when we're still perhaps working things out. We're still, you know, gathering all the information. You know, we don't perhaps have all of the facts just yet. And alongside that, we have the Five of Cups, which is a card of loss. So it's almost like something needs to be let go of in order to, you know, move into this new chapter here, Scorpio, for you. And the Five of Cups, you know, even though there is perhaps a loss of some kind or something that needs to be let go of, there's still two cups standing. So it's also to, you know, not everything is lost. And what you take with you moving forwards, you know, with this Judgment card here, is, you know, the wisdom from the past and the experiences of the past, and, you know, the learning and wisdom that you've gained, and taking that, moving forwards with that, in order to, you know, really step more fully into your purpose and create, you know, what you really want in life. So Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, Scorpio, and I wish you a great month ahead.